thin cement was also used in conjunction with the super glue. And after the final little bits at the top and the piece of clear plastic, I removed the masking tape from the canopy and I was very pleased with it. And this is the final result.